Hey guys, welcome to your channel Digital Empaths, where we discuss on some of the interesting facts, interesting trends around the digital ecosystem. We invite some of the amazing people as our guests who are serial entrepreneurs, who are working professionals with lots of depth and breadth in the digital ecosystem. At Digital Empaths, our mantra is democratizing the insights and knowledge with empathy. We are your host, Sushant Ichmani.
And Sundar Balakrishnan.
And guys, we are really delighted to have a new guest in our episode today. His name is Prashant Chawla, who is an entrepreneur, who's a great friend, as well as who's a theater artist. He's an executive coach, a leadership facilitator, and ironically, a chartered accountant too.
Oh, God.
So, Prashant, we're really delighted to have you today in our episode, and welcome.
Thank you so much, Sushant. Thank you so much, guys. I think it has been a delight to be a part with you guys. What you guys are doing is brilliant and definitely needed in today's time. So thank you so much for inviting me here, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. So Prashant, let's talk about the ongoing pandemic situation we are in right now. I think most of the countries are going through a lockdown phase right now. There's a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, and people are very uncertain what the coming weeks and months are going to be. Especially in North America, the unemployment rate is very, very high. Every week we are seeing a lot of unemployment claims are being filed at the labor office. So how to deal with this situation, how to stay calm, and how to maintain our sanity?
It's a nice question. And yet a very valid question in today's time. I just feel, first of all, we need to accept what is going on. The fight is not with the fact that how we are feeling. The issue is not with the fact that I'm feeling fearful, or if I feel, hey, what will my business go through? Will I be able to pay my salaries? What about my job? Will I be told to go ahead, or will I be told about the job pay cut, or I don't know where my job is going to function in next 6 months. Will it be redundant, or will I really have a great scope? A lot of us, I think more than 70% of us, I think more than that also, are going through these feelings. But the point is, there is nothing wrong in these feelings. There is nothing wrong in feeling fearful. There is nothing wrong in feeling anxious. There is nothing wrong in going through what we are going through, because it's a typical human feeling to go through that. The problem is that we are not accepting that we are going through that, and we are not accepting the situation which we are facing is something we have not faced it in our lives. So that fight that we say in Hindi, the word is kashmakash. वो जो कश्मकश अंदर चल रहा है ना, oh man, problem उसमें है. It's okay for us to feel what we are feeling. यार मतलब human है भाई. How can we not feel it is my question. The acceptance of the fact that yes, I am fearful of the fact, one aspect, I am fearful of the fact that my job might not remain. I am anxious to know I don't know what holds in future. Oh God. If you talk about future, you're gone. You need to focus on the present right now. एक लेक होती है ना, लेक के अंदर, लेक it's very deep. जो अंदर का उसका पानी होता है ना, वो बहुत स्थिर होता है. It's very calm, quiet. और ऊपर सरफेस हिलता रहता है. Rocks आएंगे, ये आएगी, हवा आएगी, कुछ भी आएगी. And the same situation we are going through. You want to remain calm, you need to get back to your core. You need to get back to your relations. And you need to spend some time with yourself. Write down what are the 3 important issues going on with me right now. These are the 3 issues, and keep those 3 issues as those 3 issues only, because rest of the 7 things are working good in your life. Don't disturb them. So in 3 issues को अपनी जिंदगी का issue मत बनाओ right now. And one of the strongest ways, don't let these 3 issues disturb the core, the center of your being. वो हिला, सब हिल गया. That needs to remain calm, solid. Then ये 3 issues नहीं हिला पाएंगे आपको इस समय. Yeah, that's what I wanted to share.
Yeah, very well said. Very well said. And I know, Prashant, at Accelerate, where you are the founder, the CEO, I want to learn a little bit more about what Accelerate is doing right now in Canada. I know you did a lot of events in Mumbai when you were here, and recently when you shifted to Canada, you're doing some work with HR and other local bodies. I want to hear what Accelerate is, because a lot of our listeners may not be aware of Accelerate. And secondly, what are some of the things that you're doing in Canada?
Great. So when it comes to Accelerate, we are primarily using methodologies such as theater, drama, meditation, mindfulness, and helping people, companies, organizations, or any group of people to become more mindful, more aware, more conscious, more innovative, and how to live a healthier, better, and a happier life is what we are focusing on in one line. So yes, we do organizations like Sushant, like we met in, we did it for your organization, and that's where we met. Like this, we do it with a lot of organizations. A lot of times individuals reach out to me or to reach out to us where they're looking out for some kind of a mindset coaching. They're looking out for some kind of mentoring. They're looking out for some solutions. They don't know how to get it. I mean, they know that ye karna hai and we need to do this, but how to do this? And that is where we come into the picture to help them. And I come into the picture to help them. In Canada, we are rather focused more with communities over here and using meditation and mindfulness in a big manner rather than theater and drama. So the strategy over here is a little different. And to tell you, this has happened on its own because people love spending time on mindfulness and meditations over here. It's beautiful. It goes beautifully. Over here, the difference being that communities over here are very, very big because Canada being a land of immigrants, a lot of people come here and they go through different feelings. And that is where these kind of sessions and these kind of methodologies help them to take care of themselves, find a better ground for themselves, find a better route for themselves, and so that they can go out and do much better. So over here, we're working with few, I'm tied up with a few nonprofit organizations. So we are working in together in merging with them. And also we started working with a few organizations to just start with. And by the time this COVID has happened. So right now, everything is virtual. So I'm doing sessions where people from Canada, from North America, from India, or from Dubai, they're just joining on those meditations, which earlier was happening only in one room. So somewhere it has restricted us to do real workshops, on the place workshops, but somewhere I feel it is helping. This is the time for us to go out global and reach out to people and organizations across the world, because right now space and time, space and place does not matter. You come on board, you talk, you share, people share, you do a methodology, you do a session, bang, you move on. And that's kind of mindset change right now one can bring across the globe right now.
Yeah, so true. I think so too. I think we all are right now living in a very connected world.
Yeah.
I think some of the things, who would have imagined doing all the sessions and events and meetings on Zoom? I think it's like a de facto nowadays.
Exactly.
And I think being a part of living myself, we do so many events on Zoom every day. So many yoga sessions happen, so many meditation sessions every day. And we are getting a privilege to listen from some of the teachers who are not even in India. There are different parts of the world who are like a veterans, who are the masters. And it's really insightful journey. I think last few weeks has been really, really insightful. So one question I want to ask you, Prashant, how should we plan our day? Because I know we all are working from homes, which we were not very habitual of. I think we're not coming from the Western culture where people still have a habit of working from home. They follow a discipline. They wear their proper attire. They go to their home office. They work properly without any distraction. But for Asian countries, for people like us, sometimes I struggle that how should I plan my day? There's a lot of things going on in the mind in terms of anxiety, fear, what's next, the kids, the families, and everything.
Very, very valid question. And to which there is no one answer, first of all. Because we all are going through different relationships in the house. You know, I might have a different camaraderie with my father, my mother, my wife, kids, or you might have some other sibling also staying with you, or somebody might be only a nuclear family, husband, wife, and a small kid. We all are having different kind of relationships in the house where we are living right now. So there is no one solution. One thing I believe in this time, I believe one phrase which is called as be like water at this point of time. You know, water is very, it is a very brilliant element of flexibility. Water does not say, oh, the rock has come, now I will stop. And till the time rock does not move, I will not move. Water will either go above the rock, right, left, it will make its way out. So there could be 100 rocks in front of water, and water will keep making its way out. Right now, we all are facing some rocks in our life. It could be in our relationship, personal relationship, or in the professional relationships. So wife is asking you to wash the vessels, but at the same time, boss is saying that, hey, we need to do this meeting. The meeting has got over, a very important meeting. At the same time, your 2-year-old kid just poops and you need to clean the diaper. Okay. Now, has any kind of, you know, we have been talking very big. We like to use big terms, VUCA and this and that. Who prepared us for this situation? Nobody. We are back to the primitive times when a hunter used to go out, get the hunt so that they can feed their families. They never knew that deer would be here or this animal would be here, how to hunt. Only these are the one way to hunt. They have to go out in random, be innovative, be spontaneous, hunt and get back. And in the same manner, now we are back to the primitive times. Time for which there is no constitution written on this earth. Time for us to create a new constitution for ourselves. My constitution might not work for you both. And so same way, there's no one constitution which is going to work out there. That's the reason I feel it is funny right now to say, do these 5 things and your life is sorted. I'm sorry, it won't be. You need to create your own constitution. For that, you need to calm down, sit with yourself, spend time with yourself, set out your priorities, and bring in water-like element of flexibility to waver around. I used to do things. I have worked like this. I live in this way. When I work for next 4 hours, nobody disturbs me. You know, my way of concentration is this. My way or the highway is the past now. From this period onwards, it's a before COVID and after COVID period people are going to talk. And this is the time for us to leave our stubbornness, rigidity, and these phrases aside that I used to do things like this and say, okay, I'm in this situation now. Now onwards, this is something I need to apply. I need to be ready right now. After this call, during this call, I might get a call right now. And if my son needs it, I need to keep it on hold. And the people who are there on the call need to understand, be empathetic, be kind, be considerate, to let this be okay. We have reached those stages in life. So we need to start being flexible and create your own plan for yourself.
I think I'm glad you used the word empathy, which is the core, the epicenter of our channel. And lately I've realized that I've become more empathetic to the things around me, towards my relationships, towards not even the strangers around me. I think even if we go for buying any grocery or do any kind of a household work, I realized that over the years, we become very transactional. It's always about you and me only. And it's never about they, the we aspect is always lost. Okay. We became too mean. And I think I'm learning that this pandemic is teaching so many interesting things and making that one piece which we got very weaker, which is empathy, and bringing it back to life. So what's your perspective on this?
So Shant, I don't think empathy was lost anywhere. It just got buried under our rat race, under our ambition, under our running around, achieving our dream. And I'm not sorry to say, but under our ego, under our self-centeredness, it just got buried there. It was always there. We are human beings, and those emotions we are born with, and we will die with them. And we always have it. And that's why even in the worst case scenarios, you will always see in one of the 100 cases, you will feel people are empathetic some way or the other, not with you, but somewhat with someone else. So empathy is always there, and empathy was always there. It just got lost. Now we are back to primitive times, the basic times. The job is job, but at the same time, relationships are also important. You need to face them, you need to sort them out. It is right in front of you to live a spontaneous and a primitive life. You need to take care of a job. You need to sort out your relationships. You need to live a healthy family life. You need to take care of your people around over there. Now everything needs to be done together. Now empathy is on your face. If you don't apply that, you're gone. I mean, how can you take care of everything now? So I always see people as empathetic. It's just either sometimes there is choice or there's a situation or circumstance that they are not able to portray it or apply it, is always my feeling.
Okay, well said. Sundar, over to you, my friend.
Sure. Yeah, I think it's interesting that that people are innately empathetic. It's somewhere maybe that when you don't do something for a little too often, you tend to forget it, or it goes back somewhere behind in your memory stack. It's for you to actively sort of ignite it. I'm going to shift gears a little bit here. See, in the professional world, too often we keep hearing these words: creative thinking, out of the box thinking. All these words are thrown around. They fly around too easily. But uh, in the sense of trying to coach a team or help a team build that capability to think like that, what do you think can be the role of art or creative fields of work, and engaging your group of people with that kind of activities to ignite that sort of thinking? What is your experience with that and your thought process for that?
I'm actually not clear with the question. Sundar, can you please repeat the whole question again,
Sure.
if you don't mind?
Absolutely, absolutely. So
Yeah.
essentially, organizations across the world, there is a lot of strive to bring about creative thinking, out of the box thinking. And one of the ways to ignite that sort of a thinking in your team is to use art or experiential learning as a part of that process to get your teams to think like that.
Mhm.
I wanted to understand if you have a perspective on, given some of the work that you're doing with Accelerate as well, is that something that helps in the creative thinking process, in the out of the box thinking process for the organizations? That's essentially where I was coming from.
Thank you for asking this question. I think I've been answering this question mostly to all my clients, because
Uh-huh.
this is the question which comes all the time, right?
Yeah.
And but I've never had one fixed answer. I
Mhm.
don't believe in fixed answers, because we all are different, right? We all understand different methodologies, different analogies. One thing is very clear: the day we, like, there is no issue in feeling worried, anxious, fearful. They're part of our emotions.
Good.
The problem happens when we get stuck with them. Time loop. It's okay for you to feel fearful, then you'll be happy for a while, then you'll be sad for a while, then you're anxious, and this circle goes on in different emotions. When you get stuck in one emotion, anxiousness, it takes you to stress, it takes you to traumatic stress, and you go through further stages. When that happens, our brain starts getting affected at that point of time. And when that starts getting affected, the first thing which affects is our decision making and our creative process. That's the first thing which gets affected for us. Now, if I'm working in a particular job which is making me go through the pressure, some stress, this, that, some deadlines, some things are not happening, and I'm trying to work it out and it is not happening again, then in that case, my creative and innovative process is affected.
Of course. Yeah.
In Accelerate, whenever we are doing any kind of sessions, it is helping people to come back to reality. It's come back to much more awareness. It's come back to much more mindfulness. It is helping people eventually to become more and more creative and innovative in their process as a byproduct. I am not telling them that, hey, you need to become innovative right now. Hey, become innovative right now. The sessions which are happening right now is helping them to become innovative as a byproduct. It's happening on its own. So that is the power of arts, theater, yoga, meditation, painting, any kind of creative arts which helps you to let go of your stress hormone. Relax, calm down, breathe, and your innovation will happen automatically. Your creativity is going to run automatically. And I believe in this, and that's the reason I ask everyone, choose one creative field for yourself and put at least 15 minutes every day on that, if not the whole day, and see how things change for you.
That is so interesting. I just thought I'd share a little experience. Some years back, I was working for a really large organization here in India, based out of Pune. And I used to always say that my job used to be one job that I do from say 10 in the morning till about 7 in the evening.
Hmm.
And the second part of my job used to be from 7 p.m. onwards, where we used to do music, theater, we used to take part in competitions. And in many ways, from 7 to 11 in the night, we'd go on rehearsing and do all that. And it used to inspire us to come back to work the next day to
Yeah,
even that much more than we were
yeah,
otherwise given.
yeah.
You almost formed a bond beyond just working and beyond a desk. And I thought, and that's why I think my next question is going to be, what do you think can be the role of many of these organizations, and what kind of initiatives do you think they can take in promoting this so that there is an overall harmony?
I love the word what you use in the end, Sundar.
Harmony.
Organizing right now, every organization on this earth needs to do everything which is helping people to be in harmony. This is a beautiful session, and I think your team did a similar session, Sushant, which is called as the perfect cup of tea. Yeah, it was similar, right? You guys did the same one.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, and that is how organization needs to be right now. If you put equal amount of water, equal amount of milk, equal amount of sugar, and equal amount of tea, it is going to be a disaster. And the kind of times we are going in right now, that is what is happening. And we are expecting a lot of productivity and a lot of innovativeness from people. Get it done. Hey, we need to be innovative. Hey, think something. What to do, what not to do. We are not realizing that you need somebody to make tea, to calm down, put a vessel on the gas. You need to put the right amount of water, milk, tea, sugar, and right amount of other spices for you to make your cup of tea. And whatever you feel you need to do to bring in this harmony in your organization, you want to do, you want to let people share their views. You want people to share what they're feeling. They're anxious, they're not anxious. Listen to each other. You might need to do a fun session with them, or you want to help people to meditate every day, or you feel what is going to work is to be more empathetic in the working timings. I think there is no one solution again for this. You need to see, according to your staff's situation, what kind of thing works. And accordingly, you need to start applying it right now. You used to come every day at 9 o'clock and leave at 7 o'clock. Why you're not following it right now? It's not going to work.
Absolutely.
Again, you need to leave before COVID period aside, create new constitution for your organization right now. What are the 10 things you need to do to get your organization on board? There needs to be, there is one position which is always missing in 99% of the organization on the earth, which is called as Chief People Officer, Chief Happiness Officer. Somebody who takes charge of the organization and people. It's not HR. HR is doing 10 more functions over there. It's a brand. It's a whole big department. I'm talking about a chief people person who takes care of people, their issues, their situations, their circumstances, and what are the things we need to do to take care of them. That is missing. And right now, that is the priority. You don't take care of your people, they can't take care of your organization. Not that they don't want to, they're not able to.
It's interesting you mentioned this concept of a chief people officer some years back in one of my organizations that I was at. Over a period of about a year and a half, within a year's time, we'd seen about 5 to 6 heart attacks that had resulted in fatalities.
Oh
And
man.
these were people who were less than 40 years of age, leading normal lives, even attempting to do all the right things like, going for a jog, trying to eat right. But somehow it did seem like maybe the work pressure, maybe so many things added together
Hmm.
was the reason for it. But yeah, you're right that, a people officer or a happiness officer or a culture officer,
Yeah.
different names to that role, but
Yeah.
uh, what they can do for their organization to help sustainability is going to be important, I think, in the future as well.
I think in the future it is needed now. You
Mm-hmm.
leave everything aside. You, we three, what we three must be going through in our lives, other 30 might not be going through in their lives, right? Different situations like this. There are millions of stories and situations outside.
Mm-hmm.
Like who, what product you're talking about, what service you're talking about, what growth you're talking about right now.
Yeah.
You need to first of all save what you have, take care of what you have, what you've left with first of all. Then talk about growth now in the coming years. This year is about sustainability and for you to nurture and nourish what you have.
And
This year is about that right now.
interesting, when you say save what you have in the business world, we always think about money, revenue,
Yeah.
tend to not think about the people and their sanity. I think that's an important aspect that we need to save, over the course of the year.
Oh man, seriously, Sundar.
Yes. Sushant, over to you.
Yeah, sure. I think with this, I just want to ask one more question
Yeah.
before we conclude our episode. So, I'm very curious to know, Prashant. I know you do a lot of wellness programs, a lot of meditation. You pay a lot of importance to the meditation. So, how do you plan your day? I think when you wake up in the morning, what are some of the
Hmm.
activities that you do to keep
Hmm.
yourself happy, to keep yourself energized, and when you go to the bed, and how to make sure that we have a good dreams, and when we wake up in the morning, we are equally refreshed.
To start with, first half an hour of when I wake up and the last half an hour before I go to sleep, I don't check my phone. At that point of time, I'm not interested in any news. I'm not interested in any jokes. I'm not interested in any forwards. I'm not interested in any business conclusion at that point of time. That time is for myself. That time is where I might sit with myself and not do anything, or I might sit and meditate, or I might sit and contemplate on something. I might sit and spend some time in the morning doing some pranayam or yoga for myself. I practice a beautiful spiritual technique, which is Reiki. And I've been doing it for a couple of decades now. And it has worked wonders in my life to help me really calm, help me really sort it. I choose what I need to do in that day. I don't keep it a fixed schedule that today before sleeping, I'm going to do this. Uh, I don't like to use the word choco blocks in my life. It's not that every half an hour morning I will get up and I will do this. I don't think so. I will see how am I feeling at that point of time and what my being, my body, my soul, my spirit, and my mind needs at that point of time. I might need a Sudoku in the morning that day, or I might need some kind of Surya Namaskar, or I might need some kind of workout, or I might just need to just lie down and practice Reiki or meditate for a while. So I like to give that the first half an hour and the last half an hour of the day for myself in practicing what my center, what my core of the being needs. Um, that's what works for me. I mean, that's what works for me for my wellness. My core is, I'm very committed to my core. I don't like my core shake so easily. You can give me any news, you can give me anything. I will pray, and I really have faith to whomsoever I pray. Uh, and I will do what I need to do in my capacity, in my ability. I think not every time you need to meditate, or not every time you need to do yoga to for your well-being. Be committed to your core and don't let it shake so easily. Is what my simple one-liner is.
Cool. Thank you very much. I think with this note, I want to conclude our episode today. And thank you so much, Prashant, for taking our time. I know it's early in the morning here in Canada, and we're really delighted to interact with you. To all our listeners, and to all our subscribers. If you have any questions, any comments on this episode, please post it below this video. If you have ideas for any further topics, please also mention it. And I'll also insist all our listeners to subscribe to our channel so that we can keep on updating you with some new insights, some new trends. And stay safe, stay connected, and keep flourishing. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for inviting. Take care of yourself.